Blended, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I am doing this witchy look for Halloween with the brand new Divination palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics and Robert Welsh. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Recently, the new Divination palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics and Robert Welsh showed up, and I wanted to do a makeup look to try to match the packaging. So, I have my lid primed with the Profusion Shadow Primer, and I like this one. I really like this one. So, now that I have my lid primed, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the more smoky roll. Makes me think, I was like, my mind is on sushi, like a smoky salmon roll. Sounds good. Anyway, I'm going to start out with Meg, Mirrors, and Smoke to start out with the blend. And to get the more fortune teller ball, I'm going to take the purple row. I will say with this look, tiny brushes are your friend. I will be using quite a few tiny brushes. So I'm going to start out with the Makeup Shack T66 brush in the shade Meg. And what I'm going to do is kind of pop it all over the lid, but not really. So I'm going to like put it on that inner corner edge of my lid and then work it up through the crease. And that is a nice smoky black there. It's deep, and as much as I love to do smoky eyes whenever I'm going somewhere, I feel like this would be really nice. So I'm going to tap, 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 bring it down, and then I'm going to pop that on that outer portion of my eye. We're going to do a more rounded, I don't know, I kind of feel like this would be like a halo eye, but a different variation. But I was talking to my friend earlier, and I was like, I really want to try to do a look that matches the packaging. And I was like, oh my gosh, like a fortune teller ball. So if you know whoever has done something similar to this, like an eye look like this, please let me know, because I am going to try to come back on here in a little bit and do the lower lash detailing as well. So if you know, if someone has done something like this, please tell me so I can give them the credit, because I feel like I've seen this somewhere like a couple years ago, but just cannot find what I'm looking for anymore. So, alright, now I'm going to switch over to the Makeup Shack T14 brush and the shade Mirrors. I'm just going to start to blend that out, back and forth windshield wipe motions with the lightest amount of pressure. Going back and forth. You just want it to feel like a tickle. Now on this outer bit, I'm going to go side to side, up and down, over, back and forth, back and forth. Back when I used to watch YouTube videos all the time, I always would watch Robert's videos. I still watch sometimes whenever I have the free time, but lately life has just been so chaotic that I haven't had a lot of free time to watch much. But I always just loved Robert's videos. So I was really excited to see that that was who the Blend Bunny Cosmetics collaboration was with. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, that's so cool. Like, that gives me such nostalgia. With the Makeup Shack T63 brush, I'm going to take Smoke and go ahead and start to get this softened up. And here in a little bit, I will go back into these shades and bring everything back, because blending is repetitive, but it's worth it. So I'm just going to start to try to soften this up, get this kind of blown out. Again, back and forth windshield wipe motions with the lightest amount of pressure. I like to start out with a super tiny brush to kind of pack the shades down, and then the more I'm changing shades, the more I kind of try to get the flush a little bit fluffier, but I try to use smaller, fluffier brushes because I feel like I have the most control with those, and I just really like them. So, same thing with this shade. You just want to go back and forth windshield wipe motions. You can also do, like here, I like to kind of go clockwise and counterclockwise to really soften everything up. But if you go one way, you need to go the other, so it's an even blend. And that is actually a tip that I learned from watching Robert Welsh videos. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with that Makeup Shack T14 brush and some more of Meg. I'm really going to try to bring it back because as you can see, I've lost some. And that's okay. That's just part of doing eyeshadow. You will lose some pigmentation when you're trying to get the shades all blended together. Just go back in and touch it up until you got it how you want it. Okay, so I'm cleaning my brush off in this thing. This is so handy. And I'm going to take a little bit more of mirrors just to bring it back. And then I'll take some more smoke on that fluffier brush just to make sure we got a nice blend going on. Blend, blend, blendaroo. Actually, this is more of a little baby blendaroo. So I'm taking the T63 brush again and more smoke, and I'm just going to go ahead and smoke it out, if you will. And just for giggles, I'm going to take the T14 brush again with a little bit more of Meg. Just bring that back because I want that nice and smoky definition. And this is our depth shade anyway, so bring it back just a little bit. Very, very more like a... You want it to feel more like a tickle, especially when you're trying to be really precise with it. Working this onto the lid just a little bit more. Okay, so to soften this up, I'm going to take the Sigma E25 brush and just a white eyeshadow. If you don't want to use white eyeshadow, use like your face powder or something. This one's kind of a little busted. I've used it a lot, but this works very well. But I want to use white just to make sure everything is just kind of more gray-ish. So, got that on that Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to really use that to soften this up. Just kind of melt it into the skin. Make sure it's kind of more on that airbrush side. I'm going to work it on this outer bit here. And if I lose any of the pigment, I will go back in and touch it up. I just want to make sure everything is nice and softened up right here. And as you can see, it looks quite a bit more blended and not as harsh. So now I'm going to take the T63 brush again, take the shade Smoke, and just kind of bring it back just a little bit. Then I'll take whatever powder or eyeshadow is left on that Sigma E25 brush here in a second and blend it out a little more. It's a very, very nice day out, so you may hear a little traffic because I was the windows open because Artemis was like, "Window mama, please." Okay, baby. Okay, for you. But I have been enjoying the weather being a little cooler so that I can have the windows open and get the fresh air. But alright, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take some micellar water on a Q-tip, and I'm going to try my very best to get these even. I'm going to try to make more of a circle, and then I'm going to put some of the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas and Fair on. Just start to get the shape, and then I will come back and talk, because if I talk through that, I fear I will mess up. And then I'm going to have to be like, okay, time to reblend. Don't want to do that because I feel like this is going to be a longer video. Okay, now that I have the shape, it's not totally round. I see some spots that I need to fix. So I'm going to take a little bit of Meg with this Makeup Shack T66 brush, and I'm going to kind of try to get it into a more of a circle. Just going to pattern that, rounding it. So, more crystal ball like. Okay, so I'm going to take the Sigma E05 brush. I'm going to take the shade 8 Ball. Yes, 8 Ball. What I'm going to do with this, because it's a little more tiny, I at first started out with the Elf and J Kiss Shape 5 brush, found this worked a bit better. So, I'm going to take 8 Ball, and I'm going to kind of put that up in the crease. This is going to be kind of the outer bit of the crystal ball. My camera battery is about to die, and I only have this one, so I'm probably going to have to switch over to my phone. So please bear with me. I'm just going to really build the shape up with 8 Ball. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. It's just to build up the shape. I'm going to take it up into the crease. Again, you want to use very, very light pressure while you're doing this, because you don't want to mess up. You just want to do it very, very gently. And pat, 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 pat. And I'm going to pat it on the edge just to build that purple up. Then I'm going to clean that brush off and take Gemini. So what I'm going to do is use this to kind of like lightly diffuse it, soften it up. I'm going to go back and forth. Using this for the transition shade. And I'm going to pat, 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 pat. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of 8 Ball to kind of get it nice and blended together. Because right here it looks like it needs it. Bring it back a little bit. And I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T2 brush and Affirmation. And I'm going to just start to press that all over the space that's left. And then I'm going to try to pat that up to blend these together. Then I'm going to take the E25 brush again with a little bit more of Gemini. I'm just going to pat it, move it back and forth, and pat, 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 and back and forth. Something just so satisfying about playing with mats. And I think for funsies, what I want to do is put a little bit of number 7 over this, because doing all matte is fun, but I love sparkles. So I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T101 brush and just press that on there. So my camera cut off. What I did was just went ahead and used my finger, popped on a little just to make sure it was all even. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some doodles. I'm going to do that until my camera battery dies, and then I'm going to switch over to my phone. So the quality might get a little bit better. So, alright. I'm going to hold my breath, hope for the best, try to make it all even. Okay, I'm gonna go and do my base, the bare minimum of it, because I have some other fun things that I want to do for this tutorial to show you how to do. So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna go charge my camera battery until I get that done. Okay, so I'm gonna take Smoke, Meg, and the other shade, I can't remember, oh my goodness. I'm going to take the blacks that I started out with and this Sigma EO5 brush and start to kind of do like the smoky liner underneath, the smoked out under eye, and then I'm going to add Zoltar and Ouija in the center to kind of make it look like the thing that the crystal ball sits on. So what shades that I started with, I'm going to just take them, go back and forth, add them, just leaving the center of my under eye just how it is. I'm not going to add anything there just yet. And then I'm going to kind of do more of like a halo eye, under eye with the other shades in just a second. So really just going back and forth, windshield wipe motions, very, very light pressure. And I'm trying to keep it up as close to my lower lash line as possible without dragging it too far down. Now I'm taking Zoltar and popping it right there in the center, and I'm going to blend it with the shades that it's in the center of, just to make sure everything's nice and blended together. And then I'm going to kind of start to go back and forth to work it and soften it up, make sure everything is nice and evenly blended. So this, I felt like, really kind of pulled it together and made it look like there was a crystal ball. And you can see I just got myself in the eye. I do this so often. I don't know why. But yeah, just like a nice eyeshadow brush full of eyeshadow right there to the eyeball. Always makes the day better. Just kidding. But I'm bad about doing that. So anyway, just making sure I got everything nice and smoked out. Now I'm going to take the Ouija shade and start to soften this up and get it nice and blended. And as you can kind of start to see, it's a little bit more like a crystal ball. I don't know. This look was so fun. I was really nervous to try. I was like, I've never done anything like this. But it like, in theory, sounded like a lot of fun. And I really did have quite the time doing it. I was excited. I was like, oh, I get to doodle. I get to play with some of my favorite shades. And I'm trying something new. Now I'm taking a little bit of my face powder on the same brush just to make sure everything is nice and blended well, and I'm not having any harsh lines, and making sure it's all kind of more airbrushed looking. Okay, so for the cats, I'm taking the Definition Beauty stencils, and I'm using the Halloween kitty. I don't know if Definition Beauty is still around or not. I really hope they are. I love them so much. These were from a collection they released in 2022, and I hope they'll bring them back one day, because there were bats, there were ghosts, there were cats and moons, and I just love them. So just start to place the sticker or stencils, because if you don't want to like use stencils, find some stickers. Any stickers work. Then you're going to go in and do the rest of your base stuff. Here, I thought I dropped something, you know, just random things. Just stick them wherever you want on your face. I thought, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Just do some black cats and then do some gleams, and it'll just be kind of a quick, like, last minute Halloween look. Oh my gosh, I'm so distracted by Artemis right now. He is giving himself a bath and he's grunting. He's so precious. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's Bee. Bee just letting everybody know she's here. But with these stickers, I'm just popping them on, pressing them, and make sure they're stuck down. Now I'm taking the GG Gorgeous, the 6 Sculpt in Turnt to go ahead and do my contour. So from here, I just use my powder products. That way, when I take the stickers off, there'll be an outline, which sometimes makes it easier, but in this case, I probably should have tried to freehand them, because I did have to kind of freehand some of them. Like, it didn't really work the way that it normally does. Don't know why, but just go ahead and start to put your powder products on. That way the stickers stay sticky. I don't like to do any of the
liquid products or anything like that creamy stuff when I do something like this, because I feel like they stay on better whenever I do the powder. So now I'm taking the Baked Blush palette from Bella Beauté Bar, and I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Shortcake out of it and start to add blush on my cheeks, my forehead, my chin, and my nose, because I'm a blush girly sometimes, and I just feel incomplete without blush in all the most random places. Now I'm taking the Saute London Bamboo Bronzer in Palm Island and just popping that between the contour and the blush just to kind of blend it together a little bit more. I don't want any harshness there. Take it up on my forehead and get it blended with the blush that's on my forehead. And then I'm going to move on to highlighter. This is one of my favorite highlighters. It is the Unearthly Cosmetics Low Light Highlighter in Spectre. It is a stunning purple. It's so pretty. So just pop that on. And then it's going to be time to remove the stencils. The sticker stencils. I'm trying to mesh it together. The stencils. Stickers, kind of the same thing. But I'm going to remove them and then start to add some liner. But yeah, anyway, I was just going to keep all the stuff of where I'm putting all this pretty much in, so sorry it's a little beefy here, but look at how pretty that highlighter is. Alright, so now I've popped on a moon. Now that the stickers are off, I'm so sorry the camera kind of like kaputted out on me, and I didn't get like all of this, and my mirror is kind of in the way. I'm the world's worst at this. I'm not used to doing my base stuff on camera, so I'm sorry. So I'm just filling in where, when I lifted the stickers, that you could see the imprint or the outline. And I'm taking my liner and just starting to try my very best to keep that cat shape. When I tell you, I struggle when it comes to drawing. The only way that I've learned how to do like stars or like different things has pretty much been from using stencils. Like, it's helped me a lot. But take your favorite liner. If you don't want to do black cats, then you can do whatever color cats. And this is where I was like, oh, my camera did the thing. Did me dirty. So, while the cats are drying, I'm going to go ahead and start to trace around this moon. And then, I'm going to let that dry before I take that stencil off. Because if you don't let it dry, it gets messy. You don't want to do it that way. You want to just trace it out, let the liner dry. And I'm going to move on to something else after this. Pretty sure it's Drawn Gleams. But I'm going to just let that dry before I remove it, because it's just not what you want to do. I have experience, and I did it, and it wasn't dry. I messed up. It was tragic. So I'm just kind of, going all around the moon with this and making sure that I have it the size that I want. Making it just a little bit bigger than what it is. Like a little bit, kind of a little larger there. And yeah, so I felt like it would be interesting to do a black moon, because I feel like usually when I doodle moons, I always do them white. And I was like, you know what? I feel like it'd be kind of cool to just do it a different color. I don't know. Kind of rambling here. I'm sorry. Okay, with Zoltar from the Divination palette, I am taking the EO5 brush, and I'm just going around the cats to do some shading to make them look a little more 3D. And I feel like this is such a fun effect. Like, it just kind of makes them look like they're coming off my face. And yeah, so this is why I said with this whole look, tiny brushes are your friend. Like, just get those tiny brushes and work up in there, and you got it. Like, it just takes a little time. And after I get all the shading done, I am going to take my face powder and the Sigma E25 brush to just kind of soften it up so there's no harshness. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and start to fill the moon in. Just make sure I have it all nice and even. I'm trying to do kind of smaller strokes just to make sure that I don't get out of the lines because I don't want to have to try to clean that mess up. So at this point, after the sticker comes off, just fill it in. But if you don't want to, then you don't have to. But I felt like, you know, filling it in would be cool. Now I'm taking some more of Zoltar and I'm starting to go ahead and do some shading on the moon using the same brush, the Sigma E05 brush. I'm just going underneath, like closer to my brows, and then to the sides just a little bit. So now I'm taking a white liner and I'm just gonna doodle some gleamy stars just to kind of put them sporadically because I felt like the cats needed some extra goodies to go along with them. I felt like a little incomplete. I said, okay, I gotta add something else. And I was like, I got it. I'm gonna do some gleams because they're so much fun. And I was like, well, they're on my eyes. Might as well put them on my cheeks too. So the way I do them, I feel like I say it the same all the time, but like I kind of start with one of the legs and I kind of bring it up to an angle and then make a point, and then I kind of bring it down from the other side and do another leg, so it almost looks like a banana peel, and then I'll go from one of the legs and then bring it down, angle it, and then do the same thing and just kind of extend the points. That way it looks a little more pointy. And if you don't want to have like the negative space, then go ahead and fill them in. But I felt like they were really cute this way.
Alright, I'm gonna go do the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the finished look. What do you think? I feel like it's very witchy. Like, such a nice Halloween look. Like, I will do another look with this palette soon if you want, because I just wanted to try to do something fun because Halloween's coming up and I kind of thought I had a plan for what I was going to do, but I kind of have decided that I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to think of other fun ideas to go out and do Halloween things. So maybe if somebody needs some inspiration, I can maybe be helpful in some way. But yeah. So I did use the Gloss Bomb in Betrayal? Probably didn't say that right. I am not the best at pronunciation. But I put that over top and it's just so shiny. It's so comfy, which is so needed because my lips have been cracking all day because the Art the Clown look that I did yesterday wreaked havoc on my skin. My lips, right through here where I put this cap because it like did, whew. But anyway, yeah. So by the time this goes up, that's up on my Instagram. It was a very, very difficult thing to do. Very out of my comfort zone. The Divination palette is available now and it is so cute. Just like the packaging, I've wanted to try my best to showcase the packaging with this look. I felt very inspired by it. The colors are very cute. I will say neutrals are out of my comfort zone, but if you would like me to play with the neutrals, they're kind of speaking to me. So I can do like a spicy neutral if you want. But yes, it is such a pretty palette. I was instantly drawn to the bottom row and the purple row because if I'm going somewhere, then I want to do something like smoky because I can do that quick. But I also will reach for purples because purple is my favorite color. And yeah, the blues, oh my goodness, I love blue and purple. Like, should I do blue and purple look? Probably should. But yes, this palette is very nice. I also use the lashes from the collection. I feel like they're so cute. They're like definitely up my alley, especially because in a lot of looks that I do, if you've been here a while, you know, I do a lot of doodles. So this would definitely help to showcase the doodles, but also give like a nice fluffy lash without like, but making it to where you could see all of the work that I put into the look. I want to say a huge thank you to Blum Bunny Cosmetics and Robert Rush for sending me this collection. Congratulations! I love it. It's so cute and thank you so much. Alright guys, I have been filming for the past like 6 hours at this point and my cats are looking at me like, Mom, please. And I'm like, okay, baby. So, Artie has gotten sick again. So him definitely needs some mommy time. So I want like, really again, thank you so much to Blum Bunny Cosmetics and Robert Welsh for sending me this collection. Congratulations yet again. I also wanted to say that like as far as like I kind of, even though I used the stencil, I kind of like had to freehand some because it was so hard to see where I needed to fill in. So I'm going to say that this one is already dressed up as Marceline for Halloween because we have a deaf cat named Marceline. She's a black cat. She's our only black cat aside from Biscuit, who's like tuxedo. But Artie has such big feet. So I was like, this is him because he loves Marceline, but Marceline doesn't like anybody. So I was like, this is him trying to like make Marceline be his friend. But him is just so full of love. And he wants to be friends with Marceline even though that she doesn't want to be so friendly. So I wanted to try to make a joke about him. Okay, Artie, I love you. But yes. So, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you'd like to see next down in the comments below. And if you'd like to keep up with my awkward face and shenanigans while I'm not here on YouTube, then I'll have all my social medias linked in the description box down below. And if you'd like to keep up with me while I am here on YouTube, then please hit the subscribe button. It means so much to me and I can't thank you enough. And if you liked this video, could you please give it a thumbs up? Because I heard that it helps to push my video out into the algorithm. So if you give it a thumbs up, then thank you. I want to thank you so much for watching. And I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!